It's a love story, David, just say yes.
Say no, David. Say no to it.
Just say yes, David.
No. Too many people have said yes.
Here we go. Monday,
riding in on the white horse.
Got the show today. We're talking a lot of the Super Bowl, obviously, what went down, best and worst from the weekend. Then we head down to the Senior Bowl.
Let's go, baby. 251, baby. What's up?
I already taste the tuna dip and bluegill. Excited to see our friend Jim Nagy. We've got a heck of a show for you guys today.
You got the fun fact of the day. You ready for it? This is for Lions
what
fans.
What is it?
The Lions went 0-16 this century and still made the conference championship before Dallas. I don't know if that'll help them feel better or not.
I mean, Cowboys a little bit, maybe.
Wow.
Well, look, and everybody thinks...
No one really feels a lot better when everyone makes fun of the Cowboys.
Well, everybody thinks, like, I hate the Cowboys because I think, like, America's team, it should be fluid. It should not just be the Cowboys moniker. And I'm always talking about Dak. I don't hate the Cowboys. I told Will Kane this. I'm not one of these people that I hate the Yankees because I'm a Braves fan.
Thank you, because
I'm an American.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What?
But the Cowboys, like, I don't have disdain.
There's so many more people who hate the Cowboys than hate the Yankees.
Yeah, they're communists.
And it's not even close.
I don't know.
They're called the Cowgirls.
I don't know.
No, that was the team.
Like, the Yankees have been around so much longer than the Dallas Cowboys. Like, I think there's generational hate for the Yankees. No, they're not. Yeah, you been there?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
You've never been to New York?
Twice.
No, never been there.
Can't prove it.
Yeah, I can. I've known you your whole life.
Nope.
I've known you your whole life.
Not those 5 days.
Yeah. The Chiefs and the 49ers set to face off in Super Bowl 58. Michigan elevates Sherrone Moore to become their next head coach. Blaine's a liar, and Bill's named Joe Brady full-time offensive coordinator. I'm Jake Crane, and welcome to Crane & Company. Now, we've all heard of Murphy's Law, all right? But we may need to reinstate or start a new law and call it Andy's Law or Patty's Law. That's basically whenever the Chiefs have to clutch up, they are going to clutch up. And we saw this again this past weekend as they were able to advance to their fourth Super Bowl in 5 years. Yes, fourth Super Bowl appearance in 5 years, which is absolutely incredible. Patrick Mahomes is 2-1, won 2 MVPs, trying to go 3-1. And everybody's going to be talking about this kind of renaissance we've seen offensively for Kansas City, and that's fantastic. Andy Reid is one of the greatest minds of all time offensively. We know how good Patrick is at quarterback and what he's done with this roster around him, which is just a little bit better on offense than the one they had last year. But I want to turn your attention to the reason why the Chiefs are making this run. It's defense. It's team balance. I'm about to throw some numbers at you. 3, 7, 0, 6, 0, 3, 7, 6. Those are the individual amount of points that Steve Spagnuolo and the Chiefs defense have given up in the second half of the last 8 games.
Wow.
That's right. No more than 8 with 2 shutouts, and they're getting it at the best moments when they have to have it defensively. It seems like whether it's Chris Jones or whoever, when the Chiefs need to stop, they know how to turn the faucet off. They dominated the Ravens, absolutely dominated them. Even though they ended up winning by 7, it felt like they were up double digits the whole game. So when it comes down to clutch, we saw what the Patriots did with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady and those incredible defenses. And when they needed the offense to step up, it did. When they needed the defense or special teams to step up, they did. And I never thought we'd see this again, but we are slowly starting to see the same dominance that New England had with Tom Brady, except with Patrick and Andy in Kansas City. And it's incredible to watch. But remember, defense wins championships. Bring in my co-host, former Michigan quarterback David Cohn. David, those are just incredible numbers.
Unbelievable.
We always talk about, and we should, the game plans going in, right? Who has the best script for the first 10 to 15 plays. But football, just like life, it is a game of adjustments. I would rather have a guy that can go in at halftime and knows how to adjust better than game plan going into the game, because you don't know what you're going to get until you sit down and they serve you the plate. But it seems like whatever Kansas City has gotten, and we'll get into the Lions game in a second. That defense in the second half has been incredible, whether it's the red zone, whether it's having to defend a full field, whether it's third and short, third and medium, or third and long. They seem to always make the play. And I know everybody's going to be talking about Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Insert Taylor Swift joke here. But the reason the Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl in 2024 is not just an offensive Globetrotters fest.
Yep.
They are a defensive, grinded out, hard-nosed football team.
Man, I didn't know you were going to start off talking about defense today, but I'm so glad you did, because even as the game of football evolves and becomes more offensive heavy and everybody wants to see a lot of points get scored, with a game this physical, the championships are still won and lost based off defense. Look at what we've seen at the college level the past 3 years. Those back-to-back Georgia defense that they had, Michigan's defense this past year. We've seen it at that level. And yeah, I agree with you completely, just what Steve Spagnuolo has been able to do this season. We've talked a lot about, man, this is the least elite wide receiver core that Patrick Mahomes has had these past 2 seasons, right? Yes, we can talk about how great Travis Kelce is, but it's the least elite wide receiver core he's had since Tyreek Hill left. Yeah, but it's the best defense he's played with. And that is proven to be just enough. I was going to go in a different direction, what I was going to talk about, which is the championship mentality. You know, it's not that these championship teams like this with the Chiefs, who are our generation's dynasty, it's not that they're not trying hard in the regular season. And it's not that the other teams that they're beating here, when you look at the Bills, or you look at the Dolphins, you look at the Ravens, it's not that they're completely falling apart in the postseason. It's just that the margins are so small at this area of sports. When you're talking about championship, whether it be golf or tennis or football or baseball, whatever, the margins are so tight. There's that championship mentality. Guys who know in critical moments not to get the key penalties. They don't turn the football over late. That's really what sets them apart. And this trifecta of Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Andy Reid, it's our generation's Bill Walsh, Joe Montana, and Jerry Rice. And you just saw Travis Kelce pass Jerry Rice in total catches in the postseason. We're witnessing something that's truly incredible. You add on to that this Steve Spagnuolo defense. It's just like they've looked unbeatable here in the playoffs when they looked very vulnerable down the stretch of the season. And to your point, when all those numbers, I didn't realize it was that significant the past 8 games. But this game here, holding Lamar Jackson, the guy who's going to win the MVP, prime Lamar to 10 total points and 3 in the second half. You can't beat the Chiefs like that.
No, and you know, Blaine, how many times did we see Tom Brady and the Patriots offense not have a great game, but not make the big mistake and let the defense and special teams win the game? That's what, again, this team feels almost inevitable right now with the Chiefs, because there are no weak links. But then you look at that roster on offense. So we talk about culture, right? That's a word that's used in sports all the time. I think it's misused a lot. But when you talk about a winning culture, when you talk about a clutch culture, we have cancel culture, but we also have clutch culture. All of a sudden, Mark Valdez-Scantling couldn't catch a cold in Antarctica throughout the whole year. But in the biggest moments, he's made 2 of the biggest catches of the year. It seems like if Patrick Mahomes is running around, having to make a crazy play, finding Travis Kelce, just finding a way to elevate guys around him. Rashee Rice, a young guy, comes in and has made big plays. Isaiah Pacheco has come in and made big plays. But going back to the physicality point, the offensive line for the Chiefs, especially in the middle, being able to line up, whether it's against the Ravens, whether it's against the Bills, whether it's against Xerxes' army, they can line up and get it when they have to. It's just so amazing to me. And it's not just Patrick Mahomes, but the quarterback has a lot to do with it. How much he elevates everybody else's play around him. I mean, it's incredible to watch. Every time they need it, Patrick and them find a way.
I think it says more about Andy Reid than anybody, because look, they're the type of team that you put them on the court, they can give it to you any way they want to. Whether that's in the post, they can sit at 3. They're good at everything they do. There's always that guy, right? Whether it's in school, whether, I don't know, video games, who doesn't have to study for a test, can go in there and get an A, get a 28 on the ACT, and never take it again. I feel like everything Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes touch turns into gold. And they remind me of Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and Rob Gronkowski. I mean, with Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, and Andy Reid. And you go back and look at it, and the one thing I looked at in this game was going to dictate it, because I did pick the Chiefs to win this game, other than Taylor Swift and the NFL being totally scripted. is that the Ravens ran the ball 16 times. 16 times. They ran it 42 times against the Texans. The Chiefs ran the ball 32 times. playing defense and running the football and not making the mistake. The Chiefs are good at really one thing. They always dictate tempos of football games. You go back to the Bills. They fall into tempos extremely well. They know rhythm, and they don't fight against the rhythm. When they don't go against the grain of what the game is going. Kudos to the Chiefs. Good for Patrick Mahomes. But damn it, Taylor Swift, get out of the NFL. I'm sick of it. I'm done with it. Every time he catches a pass, there's Taylor writing another verse to her new song.
See,
I mean, Ben Shapiro's going to have to clap back on Taylor Swift.
Well, look. See, I'm not in the camp of this Taylor Swift thing, and I don't want to spend too much time on it because I'm sick of even thinking about it. It isn't that they just show her during the games. I see they show Jerry Jones every 45 seconds during a Cowboys game, whether he's eating a chicken wing or screaming at somebody about not doing their job. It's that it just doesn't feel organic to me.
Okay.
That it feels like a play. Like it doesn't feel natural. That's my thing with it. And you know what? At the end of the day, it is what it is. It's like old boy said about Cedric Mullins. I can't escape this situation. I can't escape it. So I'm going to embrace it. But what I do find fascinating, we're going to take your calls. The phone lines are going to open at 7:15 a.m. Central. Booster Club, we're going to get to that in a second. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And before we get to the Booster Club, I do want to get to this Lions game. But what I do find fascinating going into this Niners-Chiefs Super Bowl is that on one hand, you have superstar GQ cover Patrick Mahomes, right? He may put ketchups on his steaks, but that's the only mistakes he really ever makes. Then on the other side, you got Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, who doesn't do anything super flashy, but the man wins. Mm-hmm. He doesn't make the huge mistakes. The 49ers able to come back from the largest deficit in a conference championship game in the NFL, in the modern era of the NFL. And if you're Kyle Shanahan, man, it must feel good to be on this side of it.
Yeah.
Especially after what happened to you and the Patriots.
Back to back.
The Super Bowl.
Back to back
comeback wins. And I want to shift over before we get to the Booster Club. Decision making and Dan Campbell. And I sat here and I thought about this last night because the first thing that you do is you say, oh, he made stupid decisions. Hindsight's 20/20. You should have taken the points, right? At the end, it could have helped you. You shouldn't have gone for those 2 4th downs. But I go back and look at it, and this is just who the Lions are. Like, this is what they did the whole year. So, because Dan Campbell and Dan Lanning, apparently if you're a coach and your name's Dan, it's a full send every time. The card says one thing, screw it, go for it. That's what it says. But when I look at the Lions and the way they went about their business, would you change your stripes at the end and kind of go against what you've done all year, which has been uber aggressive? When it's 4th and short, go for it, even when the field goal is there for the taking. And I want to say yes, and you heard Jared Goff in the postgame say, that's who we are, like, we're going to go for it. You go there, we win the game. But man, I just don't know how you don't take the points in at least one of those situations, in at least one of them. But I can understand this is how you built the ship. This is how you steer the ship. I just want to know, David, and again, looking back on it, when you don't get it, it's always easier. But man, what happened to just taking the points, man? It's why are we getting so cute? Like, just to the point where it's just the most diabolical thing you can choose to do it. Take the points, dog. It's like the Falcons in the second half of that Super Bowl. I mean, to run the ball. Like, what? Sometimes the simplest answer is the best one. You don't have to overthink it, but I mean, it's kind of who the Lions were.
All right, yeah, you just covered a lot of ground, so I'll start with the Lions first. At least if you're a Lions fan, you can say, all right, Dan Campbell didn't panic in the biggest moment. He did what got us here, right? He did what. Now, the first one to me, you have to kick the field goal. The one where you're already up 14. Kick the field goal.
It's 3 scores.
Take the points. Like, at some point, and like, it's all based off percentages, right? Because if you get that, all of us are talking about how great he is and you know, gutsy and brave and all that kind of stuff. And if you don't get it, then everyone's saying this is the stupidest move ever. Too often we just wait to see what the result was to say whether it was a good decision or not.
Yeah.
That's why I try and say in the moment, like, no, the percentages, like, you need to take the points here. The second one, when you're already down 3 and it's 4th and 2, I'm like, okay, your offense is the strength of your team. Your defense hasn't stopped anybody for the past four drives, and you had him open on the mesh concept. They had the tight end open. It's zone. Hit him on the mesh concept and get the first down. But the first one to me is where you have to kick the field.
I don't think Dan Campbell's ever laid up in his life.
Never.
He's no
tin
way.
cup.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Give me the driver. I'd rather you hit the gas pedal and scream America and go out shooting and go out fighting than, the other way. I mean, I'll take that any time of the day. Dan Campbell, you're playing with house money, buddy. You're playing with house money.
But
but you're upset.
You can cook a 17-point on the sideline if you want.
Not at this point.
You were, but you can't blow a 17-point lead to go to the Super Bowl.
No. It's at this point.
Like if you were trailing the whole game.
At this point,
maybe.
Yeah, the house money argument's dead. You made it the conference championship game. You win the first game like Texans going the Browns, house money. I get it, right? Lions' first playoff game in a long time. You are at home. You can make that argument. And the way you won, the way the Lions have won all year, including beating the Chiefs the first week of the season, I know they had some injuries. Like now everybody's believing. Now you're expected to win, and you're up. You're up big. I agree with you 100%, David. Going from 14 to 17 is massive because it does change the thinking, obviously, of the team you're playing.
You may get them to abandon the run.
You may get
which San Francisco, to their credit, never did.
Yeah, now it is legitimately 3 scores. Mm-hmm. You can score 2 touchdowns, get both 2-point conversions, and you're still a point behind. That changes the way the other team has to operate, right? It may they may have to kick an onside kick even earlier, or waste timeouts even earlier. It just that was the one that I'm like, and listen, I know you moved Riley Patterson and brought in Bagley, but you got to feel good about your guy going up there to kick. It just, that decision to me was baffling. But you got to give credit to the 49ers. I thought Christian McCaffrey had some of the best 7-yard runs ever. It just, watching this man operate is absolutely incredible. But Brock Purdy, again, when you had to have it, he made the throws.
And the runs against man coverage. Like that to me, the bigger killer than Dan Campbell's 4th down decisions were just the Lions falling apart in the third quarter. I mean, the ball bouncing off a face mask that should be an interception leads to the 49ers' biggest play. Several drop passes, one of which would have been a huge 3rd down conversion. I think it was to Reynolds. A 1-play drive that resulted in a fumble, which something happened on the exchange from the very beginning.
That's
I don't
what it
know
looked
if
like.
Gibbs or Goff went the wrong way. And then you follow that up with another 3-play drive that's a 3-and-out that goes nowhere. And then playing man coverage on the back end the whole time where Brock Purdy just scrambles and tears you apart.
Yeah, and again, Brock's not the most fleet of foot, but he does run well enough. He's not as fast as Patrick. Like Mahomes can make you pay. He made the Ravens pay a couple times because the Ravens run a lot of man, obviously, in the back end, and he was able to find some alleys there. But I just thought Brock, again, man, just it's not flashy, it's not super sexy, but it always seems to work. And now he is playing in a Super Bowl, and we get a rematch of the Super Bowl that we had a couple years ago. But regardless of whether it's a Super Bowl, NBA Finals, whatever, if you need tickets, we all know there's nothing like watching your favorite sport in person. The fans, the food, just something about catching it live. I don't have to go into detail because if you've ever been to a game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's why the Game Time app is something you need to have. What is the Game Time app? Well, man, am I glad you asked. It's a fast and easy way to buy tickets online. Like here in Nash Vegas, all right, we got a little bit of everything. We got the NHL, trying to get a Major League Baseball team around here. Obviously, we have Vanderbilt. We have all types of sporting events and concerts going on. And Game Time has all the ticket options, even if it's last minute, to be able to get you a spot. And you'll always get the best price guaranteed. Because if you find tickets, David, in the same section or row for less, Game Time will credit you 110%.
Really?
That's right. That's a Game Time guarantee. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. All you do, download the app right now. It's just called Game Time. Pretty simple. You create an account and you use our code BOOSTER. That's BOOSTER for $20 off your first purchase. Again, just create an account with the Game Time app. Use code BOOSTER, BOOSTER for $20 off. Download it today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Terms apply. Fantastic app. Gets you where you need to go. Speaking of fantastic, we're going to put the link for merch in the chat. All right, we got a hoodie, which we know, listen, the economy's not great right now, but buy one of those. It really helps us out. Candles, all that stuff. Every time you buy merch, it helps out everybody involved, including the show. But let's get to the Booster Club.
All right, chat. What's up, losers? We're back. All right, we're starting for John Williams. What's up, John? He says, got to take the points on at least one of those 4th downs. Says we got Dan Kiffin Campbell coaching the Lions last night.
Well, and listen, I get that. I'll go back. I know your identity is aggressive, right? But there's a difference, in my opinion, to being aggressive with nuance. We've talked about this before with Dan Lanning in Oregon. Sometimes it's okay not to just push the pedal down and scream America. Sometimes the best option is not even playing it safe. It's playing it smart, right? Even if you only, try and take the path of less resistance 1 out of 4 times, that was the time to do it. Again, we go back to this analytics, and I hear people come out and say, oh, well, this percentage and that percentage. Look, man, a lot of it goes off feel. And I've even heard Dan Campbell talk about this. But your feel just can't be, what's that movie with Jason Statham? Like Crash or Crank or whatever, where he's just 1,000 miles per hour the whole movie. That's what it feels like with Dan Campbell's decision-making. Like I'm watching Jason Statham have to recharge his heart, with whatever that thing is, to just run around the city causing havoc. It just blows my mind.
All right, let's go to Steve Parker. What's up, Steve? He said, if they win the Super Bowls, Brock Purdy, the Stetson Bennett of the NFL.
Man, that's a great comp because they're both really good.
That is a great comp.
That's good.
They're both smaller. They're both, kind of underrated. Funny part is Stetson got drafted higher than Brock did. In a sense. Now, I don't think you're going to see Brock, going out there and smashing a bunch of cold sodas, and going through what Stetson went through. Who knows? But, yeah, I could see that. Kind of an underdog.
Mm-hmm.
Do we start saying maybe Brock Purdy has got a little Baker Mayfield in him?
He looks like Baker. Yesterday, like I was saying, on the scrambles, like he looked like Baker Mayfield, who's able to take advantage in the run game if you either over pursue from the edges or play man coverage and turn your back to him. It looked like that, but the Stetson Bennett comp is more about like underdog quarterback, elite roster around him. Oh, you're just a game manager and anybody could plug in here and win, which is a false narrative because you're still a really good player. Yeah. Like that's how I felt about Stetson Bennett, and Brock Purdy's doing a lot.
Well, Brock doesn't like the thing with Stetson was a really good player, but he wasn't elite, or the best at one thing, right? I feel like Brock's the same way. Brock's just really good at everything, right? And he doesn't make the huge mistake in the big moment. And that doesn't mean, again, that you're playing it safe, but there's a beauty in that. There's Tom Brady did not saying that Brock's Tom Brady, but there is a beauty in not making the big mistake at the big moment. Yes, making the big plays huge. We've seen him make big plays. Does he make the flashiest plays? No, but there's something to be said for not screwing it up, right? You just keep it at what?
Yeah, if you told me the stat, I wouldn't have thought Brock Purdy would have 3 less rushing yards
than Lamar. I saw that.
That is crazy.
Let's go to Justin Alfredo with a $5 donation. Justin, appreciate it, man. It says, when they missed the first 4th down, the game was over. The 49ers are such a momentum team, and they fed off of that.
Yeah, well, hey, look, I thought the Lions just lined up and kicked the 49ers' ass in the first half. That's what it looked like to me. From J-Mo on the reverse to J-Mo that he scored on, which was an incredible play for him to stay up at the end, just shows you how strong that guy really is in his legs. The Lions jumped out, and the 49ers are one of those teams where when you have a chance to kill them, you have to kill them because they're just too talented to be kept off the board for 4 quarters or to be held at bay for 4 quarters. You could not have started better if you were the Detroit Lions. You come out, you hit him in the teeth, you go up 14-0, everything's working. Play action, run game. You're getting it to your speedsters when you need to. Amon-Ra St. Brown is running wide open. You've got the periphery guys that are making plays. The thunder and lightning, the 1-2 punch with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery's working. You're stopping the run on defense. And it just seemed like the Niners got a little bit of life, just like against the Packers, right? You give them a little bit of life and you don't kill them, they're going to make you pay for it. The difference is, though, the Chiefs will kill you. The Chiefs smell blood in the water. They're like a shark from a mile away. They'll put the fin up and they're heading straight for you. That's what I can't wait to see as we preview this Super Bowl. You got a team that never dies versus a team that always kills. That's what I can't wait to see. That's a fascinating matchup to me.
Let's go to Yo, That's Rough with the $5 donation. Appreciate it, brother. He says, Dan Campbell's the kind of guy to say hit me when he's got 18 in blackjack.
Yeah.
Just kick the field goal. And also the Yankees suck from your boy here in Boston.
Yeah. But actually, I think Brian's in Boston. We may have Brian and Brandon in Boston. Look, when we're going to sit here and we're going to talk about, both of these teams and Dan Campbell and the Lions, and I keep coming back. I keep coming back to Jared Goff. To me, the part that I feel the worst about with the Lions is that I thought Jared Goff made the throws. I thought the drop passes killed him in the second half. And that's what I keep coming back to because, Jared Goff, remember, this is a guy that went to the Super Bowl with the Rams. Jared Goff has clutched up, and I know, that the Yankees shot there is fantastic, but I feel like this man played well yesterday. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like he played about as well as he could play, to be honest. And then I look at Penei Sewell and the guys up front. It was just, that game was just wild, man. It was absolutely wild.
The Lions had more first downs. They were 50% on third down. They had more total plays. They had more rushing yards. They had more passing yards. They had fewer penalties, and they tied in the turnovers. But again, those mistakes came at critical times.
They did.
The fumble in minus territory after a one-play drive. The drop pass from Reynolds that could have led to a third down. I think there may have been multiple drop passes from him. Yeah, 2 of them. So just the worst possible times.
No, and you talk about hitting on 18. It kind of reminds me of that scene from Austin Powers when he's playing blackjack, and the guy hits on 16 or whatever, and he's like, I like to live dangerously. And Austin Powers gets 6, and he's like, stay. And it's like, sir, you have 6. He's like, I also like to live dangerously. And the dealer flips it over. The dealer's got 17. He's like, you lose. You're making that playoff James Bond. But no, that is funny to think about.
I was going to Starvin Marvin, man. What's going on? He says, what's interesting is Jim won a championship because they stayed true to who they were that year. Did John Harbaugh lose because the Ravens didn't seem to stay true to their game plan?
A little bit. Here's what it felt like. Because, Lamar made that crazy play early, that touchdown to Zay Flowers. And look, man, we got to call a spade, too. You got to catch breaks to be able to do what the Chiefs have done. That play by Snead was Zay Flowers going to the end zone. Mm-hmm. That's a Super Bowl winning play.
Yeah.
That is that's the difference. And it's not, you're just unfortunate. L'Jarius went and made that play. And remember, Zay Flowers is the one who got that taunting penalty. The Ravens had so many stupid penalties yesterday. Mm-hmm. Even the Clowney late hit on that drive to give him the first down. It's the Chiefs didn't make the bonehead
Which
play.
Was a penalty.
That was a penalty. Yeah. You can't do that. And I'm a defensive guy. Mm-hmm. But you go back to all the little things the Chiefs did. And even the Lions, not downing the ball. It's those critical plays, David, you said it. Sometimes it's not what happens, it's when it happens.
Yep.
And it just seems like every time the Ravens, they put it on Lamar. I get that. I understand that. But let's not act like the Ravens just running the ball down the Chiefs' throats. Mm-hmm. The Chiefs were throat slamming them up front consistently. Gus had a few. He busted a couple. Lamar, which it was weird watching Lamar slow down when they went for that 4th down and they went heavy and had a hat on a hat. It felt like he kind of slowed down. Lamar, I know he's getting older, but I used to watch Lamar run away from guys in the NFL too. It seemed like that burst or whatever that he has, like at the end, that late finish, it just wasn't there. But I thought the Chiefs did a good job of making Lamar beat them through the air. Mm-hmm. And he didn't, including that just egregious interception that he threw in the end zone. Why are you throwing that ball to Isaiah Likely? It's because you made your mind up before the snap where you were throwing the ball, and you threw it in triple coverage, which means somebody's running butt naked underneath. Wide open. You had 3 guys there in the end zone. So, yeah, listen, did they abandon the game plan a little bit? Yes, but, the Chiefs came out and slapped the Ravens defense in the face on the ground. It wasn't like that. What you said, they ran it 32 times?
I believe the Chiefs ran it 32 times. And look, they only averaged 2.8 yards a carry, but you run it 32. Those were heavy physical runs.
Well, I never felt like, I felt like the Chiefs were in 2nd and 6 the whole game. 2nd and 7 the whole game. And you don't have to run it unbelievably well to set up that play action.
Well, we talked about the man coverage with the Ravens as much as they've run it. The linebacker tight end matchup was what I wanted to see. And I thought Kyle Hamilton, although he did get scored on by Travis Kelce.
You can't stop that play.
Played a great game.
He did. Yeah. He did. Timing up blitzes, everything. Look, a lot of people are going to come after Lamar Jackson today. And I understand it because he has not been good enough in the postseason, especially in a year that he returned to MVP form and the Ravens were the best team
you had
in the NFL
weapons around
down the stretch. This past 6, 7, 8 weeks, they looked absolutely unbeatable. 10 wins against teams that are over 500. I think that's the first time in NFL history. So my money was on the Ravens to win the Super Bowl here for this last 6 weeks. but you have to give credit to the Steve Spagnuolo defense. Now, one thing when we talk about them abandoning a game plan that had got him here, 8 carries in the run game for the Ravens for non-Lamar Jackson runs. Like, that's not enough. So, most of the credit needs to go to everything the Chiefs were doing on defense and Steve Spagnuolo and the game plan and all that. But I don't know how you only give running backs the ball 8 times when you're a run-first team. The 49ers didn't abandon the run game, and they were down by 2 touchdowns. So even more.
I get it. But I also get putting it on Lamar. I don't think that was the worst course of action. But to abandon who you are, and again, it's not. Remember, the Lions went up 14-0 over the 49ers. So if anybody was going to abandon any type of game plan, you think it would be the 49ers, and it wasn't. Remember, the Chiefs scored, and then the Ravens scored. It was 7-7. So it wasn't like there was this huge deficit that the Ravens had to come back from. So they just had to start throwing it, and Lamar just had to start etch-a-sketching his way down the field. It's just, man, I agree with you. It was kind of like they went away from it. But all right, one more, and then we're going to get
go to CG87343 with the $10 donation. Kind of sounded like your monologue there for a second. Disappointing the Lions for choking like that. Almost as bad as that 28-3 game. 2 teams I care nothing about. Won't be watching the Super Bowl. Disappointing the Ravens too. Yes, I'm salty, but I will get over it.
Look, I mean, obviously we're going to watch it. We're probably going to live stream the thing. But no, is it? I guess you can call it choking. To me, it's not as egregious as the 28-3. That's on a whole. That was on a whole new level of stupidity to me when you came back on up 28-3 in the second half because you won't run the ball. It turns into a math problem outside of you just turning it over 4 times. But I think it's going to be fascinating. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the skill set or the skill players that the Niners have going up against the toughness and the griminess. Not that the Niners aren't tough, but I tell you what, if the Lions, and I love what the Lions did up front, if the Lions can line up and run the ball at you and have success, the way the Chiefs are blocking up front right now, I don't think Pacheco and them are going to have too much of a problem being able to line up against the 49ers and score points. I envision a high-scoring game. We'll see out there in Vegas how it goes. But, David, let's remember we got the phone lines opening up 7:15 here in, let me do the quick math, 13 minutes. Want to hear from you guys. Remember, if you donate, there's a lot of people in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. But before we get to best and worst, I can tell you what the worst is, David. If you're losing hair,
tell them.
Or if you're scared about losing hair, hey, maybe your parents, you may be inheriting a thinning hair situation, but you got time to fight back, all right, with Provia, Provia. Because if you're one of the millions of American men and women that's dealing with premature hair loss, you can start 2024 off right with a real solution that delivers on its promise without the harsh side effects, unwanted chemicals, and there's no need for a prescription. That's right. It's Provia. It'll have you looking good, which will have you feeling good, which will have you playing good. Hey, maybe you want to get back in the dating scene, right? Maybe you're trying to impress that girl at work. Maybe you just want to feel better walking down the street in the morning, going to get a cup of coffee, and everybody pointing ooh and on at that big, beautiful head of hair that you got because you came back like Jordan, wearing the 4.5, but not to play games with you. And Provia guarantees more hair in your head than in the shower or on the comb, and it's effective for men and women of any age. This is a big point here. And it's safe on colored, treated, and styled hair. No worries, no problems, just a lot of feeling good. And right now, customers can save over 50% plus free shipping on Provia's introductory package at proviahair.com/booster. Every package includes a full 60-day supply of the Provia serum for daily use, plus the Provia Super Concentrate for faster, more notable results. So don't wait. Order now, and you'll save an extra 10% on top of that and get free shipping. This may be the greatest deal in the history of the human race. All right, it's at Provia.com or proviahair.com/booster. That's PROVIA hair.com/booster. Get your head in the game and get some hair in your head. Proviahair.com/booster. All right, best and worst of the weekend.
It's my favorite.
All right, my best of the weekend. Michigan did name Sherrone Moore head coach, offensive coordinator over these past few seasons. Obviously, we know they just won the national championship, 15-0. Sherrone Moore filled in for Jim Harbaugh on those suspensions, so he's 6-0, has a win over Ohio. I mean, how many other coaches around the country can even say that? It made sense to elevate Sherrone Moore, so congratulations to him.
Yeah, we talked about this at nauseum last week. This was the easiest hire that there ever should have been ever of all time in the history of the world. Best on-the-job training you can possibly get. The meetings are going to be the same time. The structure is going to be the same. There's going to be a new head man there. And it just so happens the new head man was the interim head man in some very, very important events last year. So if you're a Michigan fan, you couldn't ask for anything more, David, right?
Exactly. But now the schedule this upcoming season is going to be one of the top 5 toughest schedules in the country.
You've earned an 8-4. Harbaugh, I think, would have gone 8-4, 9-3 with this schedule.
Possibly.
With what
I'm wondering, how much, if that's what happens, if there's an 8-4 season in their future, how many strays is Sherrone Moore going to catch? I mean, look, you're the head man now, so I understand. They're going to return a lot of really good pieces on defense. Offensive, you got to replace a quarterback on offense. You got to replace your starting running back, Blake Corum, most of your offensive line. The good news is that Donovan Edwards, who's had some of your biggest game the past
few Jahmyr Gibbs, man,
is going to return. I think what's more problematic than naming Sherrone Moore or looking at the schedule for the next season is hearing athletic director Ward Manuel double down this past weekend that Michigan is not going to be getting in the NIL space in any massive capacity. He said, we're not buying players. This is not a transactional thing. I understand where he's coming from. A lot of people around the country are frustrated looking at NIL and the transfer portal with no guardrails or no transparency. At the same time, you're one of the few brands in college football that could take advantage of NIL.
Y'all are rich.
Use that. And the guy who just really built the foundation for this success you've had the past couple of seasons, Jim Harbaugh, is leaving. I know they're going to keep the infrastructure with Sherrone Moore, but like you said, your proximity to genius doesn't always, equal that you're going to have the same amount of success. Name, image, and likeness and having the structure in place needs to be something that Michigan takes care of ASAP. You can't just rely on the fact that the NCAA may get into a pay-for-play or may get into a revenue-sharing system over the next 2 seasons.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, I wonder how long Ward Manuel's been hanging out with Dabo Swinney. My best of the weekend is just college basketball in general right now. I mean, it is just, nobody can win on the road. There's 30 teams that can win this thing. There really is. When I look at how many number ones we've had that have lost, I mean, Kansas can't win on the road in the Big 12. On the SEC, going on the road, I mean, you're lucky outside of Vanderbilt and maybe 1 or 2 other places. You can't win on the road. The parity in college, but this NCAA tournament, I'm telling you, as nuts as the one was last year, this one is going to be absolutely insane. Which, you thought your bracket was bad last year? You might as well go ahead and light that thing on fire right now. Save yourself some time. I wouldn't get my hopes up about wanting to have a good bracket. You're going to really have to do the lady in the office tour on the bracket. I'm going to go to every person that knows nothing about college basketball and ask them an individual game and turn that into one bracket. I'll make all my brackets like I normally do. I'll do my kind of upset one, my mix one. But if there was ever a year where the person that knows the least about college basketball was going to win the bracket challenge, it's this year. Betting it's who knows. Who knows, buddy? Name the best team in college basketball. Name them.
Tough.
Who knows?
Alabama.
Who knows? Who knows? It's absolutely nuts right now, and I love it. It makes it more fun. It's going to make March, which I know the Super Bowl is coming up, and we're going to cover it like a fat kid in a first sleeping bag at summer camp. But March Madness is the best postseason in sports, and I can't wait.
I agree. My best over the weekend, I don't know if you've heard. If you haven't, you probably live under a rock. Give me Ben Shapiro and Tom McDonald dropping the new single, Absolute Bars. It is called Facts. Who would have thought? I tell you what, we've had Ben on the show multiple times. What can Ben Shapiro not do? Hit number 1 on the charts. I think number 1 or number 2 were behind Megan Thee Stallion or Nicki Minaj. Ben Shapiro, a Renaissance man, everything he touches, it turns.
Well, I mean, let's just look at
gold.
Let's just look at what the Daily Wire's just been cooking up in the culture situation. I mean, you've got the number 1 rap song, Ben Shapiro on there. Got more bars than a prison on Bourbon Street. We had the number 1 streaming movie with Lady Ballers. The kids' entertainment is absolutely fantastic. I mean, obviously Daily Wire's doing incredibly well. I tell you, man, it's Jeremy's Razors, Jeremy's Chocolates. I mean,
it's a lot of things I thought I was going to hear this
week. Shapiro had a crazy
There's a lot of things I thought I was going to hear this weekend, but Ben Shapiro calling people broke and telling them they live in their mom's house.
No, the Lizzo line got me.
Yeah.
The Lizzo line got me.
Yeah.
The first time. I think I may even texted Ben. I was like, the Lizzo line's mad.
Didn't he say no cap in there too?
Yeah. He said this a yarmulke. I think he said it's a yarmulke.
No cap.
Homie, no cap.
That's one of those.
Bars.
When's the Crazy Company feature coming?
That's the mixtape.
I have one more best. I have to talk.
I've got a worse too.
I got to talk about Jannik Sinner winning the Australian Open. I know we don't talk about a lot of tennis, but we already gave him a shout out after he beat Djokovic. That's no small feat in its own right, especially in Australia. But then goes on to the final to face Medvedev, down 2 sets, comes back, wins the next 3 to win a 5-set match. Somebody called in last week and was asking about, the changing of the guard in tennis to these younger guys. Just think about the big 3 when it comes to Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Novak Djokovic. They won 66 majors over the course of 2 decades.
They were like the F1 guys.
It kind of like
3 of them was going to win.
Kind of like that. At least there, the dominant F1 team is sort of based off whatever rule changes are happening to the car. So that's why you saw the changing of the guard from Mercedes to now back to what Red Bull is doing. But in tennis, it was the most dominant period in any sport, even more dominant than what Tiger was doing by himself to golf, what these 3 guys did to tennis. But now you do have a changing of the guard. Some of these younger guys are winning tournaments. Jannik Sinner gets his first win. Medvedev has a couple now. Alcaraz has a win. Dominic Thiem's a really great player. So I don't know. It's going to be really fascinating to see how tennis transforms over the next couple of years, especially as Federer's now retired, Nadal's on his way out, and Djokovic is at least looking mortal.
No, there's our tennis update, David. Tennis update.
We should get you up, man. We should get you up in front of the camera before you do your tennis update.
No, I'm good.
You know? I thought you'd be good.
I'm going to say my worst. Okay, first off, the atmosphere for the Providence-Georgetown game. If you did not know this, Georgetown's new coach, Ed Cooley, was the coach at Providence. He spurned Providence, stay in the Big East and go to Georgetown. A lot of beef between Providence and Ed Cooley. That place, and we're going to have John Fanta on next week when we get back from the Senior Bowl. He was there with Jeff Goodman, a couple other guys. The PMAC was nuts. It was absolutely insane, the atmosphere there. I mean, it was like you thought Elvis was in town. Ed Cooley, after the game, and Georgetown lost, which he's still got to build them up. They're still kind of, working their way up. Meanwhile, Devin Carter, the South Carolina transfer of Providence, just an absolute dog at running the point. But Ed Cooley went on and said after the game, after they lost, he said that I feel like Providence owes me a check for having this atmosphere for me coming back. No, they don't. Like, what? Like, to me, that is such... And listen, I've always liked Ed Cooley, but if I'm Kim English, the coach of Providence now, what a disrespectful thing to say to me and to my team and where I'm at. Like, yeah, I get it. Ed Cooley, a lot of the reason it was so hostile was because Ed Cooley left you for another girl. Man, I don't know why you're acting like you did this some amazing thing for Providence. You left Providence when y'all were working y'all's way up. I'm not saying you were wrong. Georgetown is an incredible basketball establishment. Hadn't been good for a long time. Patrick Ewing ran that thing into the ground, right? And I'm sure Ed Cooley's going to get it turned around. But if I'm Kim English in Providence, it's one thing to have all these people and it be about Ed Cooley coming back, whatever. It's another thing for Ed Cooley to sit here and say that Providence should pay him more money and just he is the only reason that anybody cares about Providence basketball. If I'm Kim English, if it wasn't circled before, and we get a chance to bury you while you're down, maybe we're up 20 with the clock running out and we got the ball, I'm not sitting on it. Take it to the rack. I want you to yam it, and I want you to stare this man down going down the court. I just thought that was I've always thought of Ed Cooley, and I know the thing with the mistress and all this stuff. I've always thought of him as a classy guy that handled his business, right? But to me, I was just shocked to see that.
I missed that one.
Yeah, I missed that too. That's wild. My worst, do we have the tweet, Justine? Can we pull that up?
Yeah, we have it.
Oh, Matt. Oh,
Matt.
No.
Hey, I love him going out on a limb, though.
Me too. Look, I love it. Look, I'm not trying to point fingers, but it turns out you're the problem.
Well,
Matt.
so here's
not
Matt
only Matt and Lamar did you let the Ravens down, but you let America down.
Well, so if you're on audio, Matt Walsh, big Ravens fan, tweeted out, this is January 28th, 8:46 in the morning, Ravens over the Chiefs, 38-14. God, look, we believe
38?
in superstitions here. We believe in jinxing. We also believe in hedging our emotions on bets. How much percentage of the Ravens losing do you put on Matt Walsh playing?
Look, to be honest with you,
sounds like at least 8%.
I'm splitting him and Lamar 25%, 25%.
Really? Really? So you're saying Matt Walsh is as responsible for that
Them
loss.
and one of my buddies who took the Ravens money line for a bunch of money before the game started and was just gassing it up, sending a bunch of
Look, but before we go back to the Bistro Club, I want to say this.
Okay.
And if you're that guy out there in the group chat, and we all know this guy, that right before somebody has a big bet that's going to hit, or you have a big bet that's going to hit, and you text in the group chat, hey, this is almost about to hit before it does, you should be punished.
I don't have any friends like that. They would know.
No,
You're not in the group. You're not in the group chat.
Go look at that Bet Buds chat.
Yeah, we got
the other day.
We got one.
That happened to me.
I had another. He had the Lions money line. Sent a GIF at halftime of the Jimmy Butler money thing.
If you don't
See how that turned
tweet about a bet until it's done, whether it's your bet or whether it's especially if it's your friend's bet. Let me just hold your hand and walk you down the aisle for a second. This past college football season, I've got a 19-leg, and I got the evidence of this, 19-leg parlay to win $2,800. Okay, like $10 to win $2,800. I have hit 18 out of the 19. All I am waiting on is Minnesota Northwestern. Minnesota's at Northwestern. They were up 17 points, something like that, maybe even 24 halfway through the third quarter. And I'm just sitting there watching. I'm not saying a word. I'm not looking at my animals. I'm not saying anything to my wife. I'm just trying to just get through this time. And all of a sudden, because in our group, on DraftKings, you can see what I bet, right? So you can see that 19-leg parlay. And all of a sudden, phone dings. I look down, open it up. What does it say? I'm the biggest Minnesota fan right now. Crane's one leg away from hitting the 19-legger. The minute that text was sent to me, all of a sudden, like Northwestern's season turns around. Like Ben Bryant just closed his eyes. They convert like 2 4th downs, get a 2-point conversion to send it into overtime. Minnesota kicks a field goal. They get the ball first. And the first play when Northwestern gets the ball, they run a tight end delay on a wheel route, and they score a touchdown, and it doesn't hit. So if you're that friend, if you're that person, first off, shame on you. I think you should be federally investigated. And 2, stop it!
But you can't put Matt Walsh in that category.
No, I'm not putting Walsh in that category. I'm not putting Walsh in that category.
Matt, you're not responsible for the Ravens lose.
I'm not putting Walsh in that category.
Yes, you are, Matt.
Don't listen to them.
You lost to Pfizer and Taylor Swift, Matt.
You go out there on a limb for your team, okay?
We'll get taken out by Voldemort and Pfizer.
Come on. That's a hell of a combination.
All right, my worst, Jesse Minter is going to the Chargers to be the defensive coordinator.
There he goes.
Really wanted him to stay in Ann Arbor.
Hey, your boy Yim Leonard? Is it going to be Yim?
Can we get him Leonard in, please, immediately? That's what we need to do. On a serious note, though, congratulations to him. He's going to be fantastic in the NFL.
Oh, without a doubt. This was going to happen. You kind of look at the pipeline right now that Michigan is to the NFL for defensive coordinators. I mean, Mike McDonald, I know the Ravens, it's not the greatest time, but let's be honest. The Ravens only give up 17 points to the Chiefs, too. So let's not act like against Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and the rest of the Globonauts. No. That's a pretty good job only giving up 17. But look, it's a Fallout Boy situation. Thanks for the memories.
Championship season. Call Jim Leonard right now. Or maybe Bill Belichick. He
What's
still
Zach
hadn't been hired.
doing?
Get Bill Belichick in, defensive coordinator
Bill
at
Belichick.
Michigan.
Golly.
What?
You can tell you've been hanging around with a Bama fan for a long time. Like Zach Arnett, though, former Mississippi State coach. I mean, you look at Auburn right now, still waiting to hire a DC. DJ Durkin is out there. Chris Kiffin out there. We'll see. But no, man.
I would have said Jeff Collins, but he just got picked
Good
up.
for Jeffy, though.
Yeah, North Carolina.
Yeffy and Yimmy. We love to see it. All right, what you got, Blee?
Can we go to the chat?
Sure.
All right, let's go to B&A Wildcat. He says, okay, look, how much is the Ravens' offensive struggles put on Todd Monken?
Well, look, anytime you talk about the play calling, obviously it's going to go back to the play caller. But, man, you know, part of me, I get what you're saying, right? You want to dance with the one that brought you. You don't want to abandon the run. It gives your defense a little bit more time to rest, too, even though the run wasn't exactly, percolating, as they say. But I don't have a problem with putting it on Lamar. Like think about it. Lamar made some really bad mistakes. The pass rush, the fumble, that's just part of it. That was a perfect pass rush by Minu. It's hard for me to pronounce his last name. It was a perfect pass rush. The interception was egregious, the one at the end.
Yeah.
That was absolutely egregious. Like, the Ravens were moving the ball, right? The part I was kind of surprised by the most, outside of them kind of getting away from the run, was that if it was going to be put on Lamar, I'm surprised Mark Andrews didn't get any more targets than what he did. Early in the game, he was kind of like the security blanket for him.
You know, that's kind of the question. I was thinking, does inserting Mark Andrews back in the lineup after being off that long, that'll somewhat change the tempo of an offense and how it kind of gets divvied out a little bit?
Well, it can, but it's not like they sat there and leaned on him the whole game.
He's not a new piece, you know.
But, like, he's played with Lamar forever.
Yeah, exactly.
God, you're out for that long.
I did see I saw some TCU fans saying, "Where was this Todd Monken last year?" In the
I know, right? I know.
The interception in the end zone that was into triple coverage. Obviously, a lot of Ravens fans were upset. No pass interference was called. I think you could make a case either way, even though when the ball is that far behind the receiver, technically, from a ruling standpoint, the defenders have an opportunity to make a play on the ball, right?
Yeah.
But none of them were talking about the fact that it's already being thrown into triple coverage.
And it's underthrown.
Yeah.
You underthrew it into triple coverage going in to the end zone in a one-score game. I mean, the Ravens did leave some points out there. But again, the Chiefs, when the Ravens made a mistake, the Chiefs took advantage of it every single time. And that's what championship teams do.
Let's go to Christopher Jordan. He says, look, Jake, I'll complete my bracket, and I'll have my wife complete one as well.
Watch what happens.
Nothing about college basketball.
Watch what happens.
We'll see who does it.
I'll put $100 on her bracket, ends up better than yours. I'm telling you, this is, if there was ever a year for Tiffany from The Office to win the bracket pool, it's this year. It's like, oh, well, my sister went to Baylor. It's like, oh, what's their mascot? It's a Blue Devil. That's scary. I'll go with Norfolk State.
Let's go to Q-Smo Jimbo with a $10 donation. Appreciate it. He says, never forget, New York Giants hired Pat Shurmur as their head coach in 2018, who then foolishly refused to keep Steve Spag as the DC. Spags went to KC to join a dynasty, and Schumer was fired after only 2 seasons.
I feel like Schumer should be fired right now.
Again? I have a question for you guys. With the Patrick Mahomes and Justin Tucker pregame, when Mahomes kicked his team over, I just thought it was 2 professional football players.
I thought Travis just grabbed his helmet.
He did.
That was part of it too. And
Justin put
I thought they were just kidding with each other.
Look,
it was getting tweeted out like it was like, oh, Patrick Mahomes is now the villain of the NFL. He's kicking Justin Tucker.
Look, the Chiefs are already the villain. Taylor Swift made the Chiefs the villain. Winning and adding Taylor Swift, you are now. It's the Chiefs versus the solar system. Okay,
see, I agree with Jake on this. If this is an organic thing, which I guess we won't know the answer to until a long time.
No, I think we do know that. I don't think it's organic.
Okay, you don't think it is?
No,
I don't know. But if it is, if Travis Kelce just shot his shot with Taylor Swift and then they started dating, then I'm fine with it. I'm all for it. But if it's like you think it's scripted from the NFL,
I mean, Taylor's brought $315 million to the Chiefs in the NFL.
It's hard to argue.
Good
with
God!
Well, whatever play it is, it's working.
Yeah.
It's 100% working. No,
Travis, man, good for him.
The Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl, and I'm telling you this right now.
He's going to propose.
Well, I've said it for a week. Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl, all right, and Travis is going to propose to Taylor after they win.
Let him find love.
Look, I'm not picking against the Chiefs anymore.
There's rumors they're already engaged, actually.
See, I'm telling you, Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl, and then Travis is going to propose, and you're going to see the commissioner of the NFL behind him
I heard rumors they're actually already married. They got married secretly. I heard those rumors. See, I can start rumors too.
Yeah, you know how if it goes down like this, then you know it's 100% a play. It's an op, all right? If they have their Boise State moment where Travis Kelce scores the touchdown to win the Super Bowl, goes straight to Taylor Swift, who will somehow be close to the field. Right? On the field. She won't be in the press box. She'll be close to the field. It's amazing how quick she gets on the field. And he'll run over there and he'll propose to her, just like the Boise State guy that proposed to the cheerleader after they beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl, whatever it was. If that happens and Travis Kelce scores a walk-off touchdown in the Super Bowl and goes over and proposes to Taylor Swift, nah, man. Nah, I was born at night, but not last night. But as far as the Justin Tucker, Patrick Mahomes thing, look, Justin Tucker knew when he set that down.
He knew what he was doing.
Where he was setting it. He knew. You could see it on his face.
Yeah.
That's the reason why Justin didn't it's gamesmanship.
That's how I took it.
Like I didn't take it as, oh, Patrick Mahomes is a piece, man. Like what a, whatever. That was a little bit of gamesmanship. You could see the look on Justin's face. Look where he put his helmet and the balls, and then look where he put the stick.
We have this whole football field.
Yeah.
We're all right down here.
Some people were like, hey, man, that's Justin Tucker's home stadium. He can put that wherever he wants. That's not how that works. Like, if you've ever been part of a football team, you know how mapped out pregame is. You get the long side. You get the short side. Believe me, as a special teams guy, who when we had to punt and do things like that, I know every blade of grass on that field that I can use because they're always trying to steal space from you. It's just part of it. I don't think it was anything nefarious. I think it was a little bit of gamesmanship.
All right, let's go to Steven. He wants to know, David, who is Michigan going to hire as their linebackers coach?
I don't know what they're going to do at linebacker now, but I think maybe you elevate Connor Stallions at this point.
Why not?
With house money.
Why not?
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if the new defensive coordinator is going to be a position coach as well. Maybe he is the linebacker.
Was Minter a position coach that they elevated because he was under McDonald, or did they bring him in from the outside?
He brought him in. Remember, because he was at Vanderbilt, and remember, I used to talk about him when he was at Vanderbilt. You were like, right. Vanderbilt has this defensive coordinator.
That's right, because they kept overachieving.
You were the first person I ever heard talk about the guy. McDonald went to the Ravens, and then I heard word that Jim Harbaugh was going to hire them from Vanderbilt, and you were like, this is an unbelievable hire. Now look at 2 years.
So basically, this is how this went down. Like Jesse Minter's like, hey, Sherrone, like, man, appreciate you, dog. Like, I'm headed to the Chargers, though. So Sherrone like hung up the phone. He's like, get me Vanderbilt's defensive coordinator. Like, what's his name? I don't know. Just get him for me.
But for the linebackers coach, to his question that he asked, that's who was fired in the wake of the Connor Stallions investigation. Because I guess after the fact, when
was he next up? Was he going to be next up?
I don't think so. No, but he was telling players to like not comply with the investigation or something like that. Is allegedly.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm telling you, I call Jim Leonard right now. You got to tell me no.
Let's go to Blake Bay. He says, if Taylor Swift was going to your favorite team and dating one of the players, you guys wouldn't be hating on her. Well, I wouldn't be hating on her. She's been nothing but kind and welcomed into the Chiefs' kingdom. That guy's a Fed. Someone go put that guy.
Yeah, I agree with him.
Someone go get that guy.
No, I agree with him.
All right, Blake.
If it's organic, though.
Blake, if they have you tied up in a room, type the letter P. Just type the letter P. No, look, again, I don't hate. If this thing is organic, I just go off instinct. It just doesn't feel natural to me. Like, it's just too many coincidences, like, adding up. But, like, look, if Taylor Swift came out and was like, hey, I'm dating Peyton Thorne, I wouldn't be like, oh, no. Like, it would help out Auburn.
Transfer.
What I'm telling you is, I still don't trust him when it matters. But what I'm telling you is, I just don't feel like it's organic. Again, Taylor Swift, I don't know Taylor Swift personally. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, she's a great person. Oh, she's a bad person. I'm not going to judge somebody that I don't know, right? Or that I haven't interacted with or can make like a concrete, assessment of. But it just feels like a trap, man.
Well, the truth is going to out on this because there's too many eyeballs on it. So if a year from now, if this was all staged, we're going to find out.
For sure.
Does it feel like Travis and Taylor, maybe a presidential endorsement somewhere? Maybe that's the shift of tides?
You know what? I don't want to get into it here, but you know how I feel in the situation.
Let's go to the Dog Man 1. It's the scariest thing ever. The NFL product is just awful. I know this is why I stopped watching. The last thing I ever want to watch is the Chiefs 49ers again in the Super Bowl.
Look, I thought the games were pretty good. Listen, has the NFL done things I don't agree with? Yes. I think it's been, the product hasn't been nearly as good as what it has been in the past. This year, I think a lot of it's because, and David brings his point up, they're trying to control they're trying to control uncontrollables with the rules. And it yet always seems to benefit the offense. Now, by the way, which they're talking about now, a fumble out of the back of the end zone shouldn't be a turnover or a touchback to the defense. Here's what I'm gonna tell y'all. Y'all starting to call some y'all starting to really piss me off now with this rule stuff. All right, I get it. People want to see people score points. I'm not an idiot. Offense sells tickets. I understand that. But if you want to know how you don't turn the ball over or fumble out, hold on to the ball. But if there's going to be a rule change, if they're going to say, listen, we have to change this rule or we want to change this rule, if you fumble the ball out of the back of the end zone and the defense doesn't get it, you better take it back to the 50. Like, it's got to be out of field goal range or something. You can't. That, to me, would be one of the biggest disservices. It's just giving the offense another avenue to be able to escape a turnover.
I agree with you. In all of the rule changes that have benefited the offense, that's one rule that has stayed in place that's almost like a trump card for defenses. And it's like a dagger to the offense when that happens. And we've seen it. We see it at every level of football throughout the course of a season. And it comes down to risk reward, which is why I've been an advocate of not changing it. Because if you're going to extend the football at the goal line and you don't get there and there's a fumble out of the back of the end zone, it's so detrimental because it's not like you can just go back to the 50 like you're talking about or go back and try again at the 1. The other team gets the ball when you were on the door. And if they go down and score, now you're talking about a 14-point swing. If that rule gets changed, your whole mantra of everybody's out to get defense.
They are, man.
They are.
Players.
But that's okay.
You're really going to have a strong case.
Yeah, hey, here's a rule. Quit extending the ball at the goal line. It's that easy. Stop doing it.
Well, look, if you're going to extend the ball, like that play that Jarius Sneed made yesterday, I mean.
What a play, man.
Talking about a guy who doesn't get talked enough. Jarius Sneed might be the best corner in the NFL.
You talk about a dog. Did he play at Mississippi State?
I'm on it.
I feel like L'Jarius Sneed played at Mississippi State. I feel like they got him and Forbes in the league right now. Unless I'm just absolutely losing my mind.
Louisiana Tech.
Yep.
Louisiana Tech. Okay.
Of course.
Close. All right, let's get the calls.
All right, let's do it. Let's see who's first on the line. Ben in Missouri.
Here we go.
Ben, talk to us.
Oh, it's a tough morning this morning, fellas.
Yeah.
The Cranes, you're on it, man. Blaine, you saw this coming from a mile away. And Jake, you guys, well, both of you guys, you know how to be dead inside. I'm finally starting to get a sense of what y'all were like with Nick Saban and these Alabama shenanigans that was going on, because it's just like watching. It's the worst thing ever, right? I mean, Ben, you hate the most.
We all float down here.
Yeah.
We all float down here.
It's like playing Thanos, man. It's inevitable. It's inevitable.
It's inevitable.
It's going to happen.
And it's just terrible. And my best and worst is, the best was the Ravens defense in the second half, not allowing a point, but the worst was the Ravens scored 3 in the second half with this vaunted offense we're talking about. The same team that scored 38 on the Texans or something like that can't muster 10 points. It can't muster 10 points in the second half to at least tie it.
Hell, seems like nobody can muster 10 points in the second half against the Chiefs. I mean, I can go back and read those numbers I had in the monologue. What the Chiefs are doing. This is really, what this team looks like? This looks like a Patriots team. Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like. Yeah. That's how they're playing. They're offensively, they can explode. They're not the most talented roster, right? Offensively, obviously you got Patrick Mahomes and they had Tom Brady, but you're out here doing it with Pacheco and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Seems like a James White situation for me. And then defensively, you're out here stopping people in the red zone, making the plays when you have to, and winning rock fights. This is like a Patriots team.
It's just one of those things where it's amazing how better the Chiefs started playing once Kadarius Toney went out.
Did you see him on Instagram too, saying he wasn't hurt? Like all cussing the coaches saying like, I'm not hurt. Well, guess what? You're gonna stay over there, bud.
It's just amazing how better the Chiefs got.
Here's my theory on this, is that Taylor Swift has come in as an asset to the Chiefs, and what she does is like Jafar in Aladdin, she will just find a way to lock eyes with the head coach of the opposing team, and they're just going to forget who they are for 60 minutes and piss down their legs.
Yeah.
Jafar and
No,
Aladdin.
I'm telling you now, it's Brock Purdy against a $450 man, right? A guy who drives a Tacoma to work, who lives in an apartment with a roommate. And you're going against Taylor Swift and Patrick Mahomes. It's a Harry Potter versus Voldemort.
We truly have.
America, the world, the universe is behind the 49ers.
If I'm Brock Purdy, I may be drawing a lightning scar on my forehead before this game.
Am I the only guy who likes this Chiefs dynasty?
I don't. Don't get. I don't.
Everybody's going to bring Taylor Swift into it and say like, oh, it's an Illuminati situation. You know what was the scariest thing I saw yesterday was Travis Kelce catching the back shoulder fade in the end zone on the
can't stop touchdown.
How are you going to stop that?
David,
they're not open. These guys, Patrick Mahomes, they're not even open.
You want to know how you stop it? You poison his breakfast. That's the only way. That's the only way.
They're that good, and they were that good before Taylor Swift got out. They're the defending Super Bowl champs. Patrick Mahomes has been to how many Super Bowls in the last 5 years?
He's 4 of the last 5.
The only guy that could beat this guy is Tom Brady, And unless, like Jake said, he's going to come out of retirement and go back to his home city.
2 weeks?
And play 2 weeks to learn the 49ers offense. Unless that happens, the Chiefs are going to keep doing what they've been doing. Everybody's trying to get on the bandwagon. I don't blame Taylor.
Hey, real question, though. 49ers fans out there. What percentage of 49ers fans, if I said Tom Brady will come out of retirement today, practice 2 weeks for the 49ers and be else quarterback against Patrick Mahomes, how many 49ers fans would take that?
75%.
You think over 50%?
75%.
You think over 50%?
There's still 25% that be like, no, Brock got us here.
I don't dislike the Chiefs. I really don't.
No.
Not at all. I didn't dislike the Patriots. What I do dislike is it's 800 degrees in here, and I'm sweating through this jacket that I'm wearing.
Are you?
But
great.
Bring your banner for that one.
Yeah. But no. Look. Everybody hates a winner, right? Everybody hates a winner, especially one that continues to win at this level. But I don't hate them.
Ben, what are the chances here if they do win this Super Bowl and they go back-to-back, which would be the first team to do it, I think, since that Patriots dynasty early? What are the chances that maybe Andy Reid does start to consider retiring, or possibly Travis Kelce? I mean, Patrick Mahomes is going to still be there for a while, but maybe this trifecta could get broken up a little bit.
Well, I mean, my life is already hell. But, I mean, I guess that would be a little bit of a respite. I mean, there was rumors out there that Bill Belichick was going to step in if Andy Reid retired and stuff, which, yeah, we all need that, right? It's funny to me how much the Chiefs fans hated Tom Brady whenever he was in their way. And I hated him too, and he was in Peyton Manning's way. But now all of a sudden, like, it's like my love-hate relationship with Brady. It's like, man, this guy is going to forever be the GOAT, because as much as Mahomes will win, we can all sit here and say, the GOAT, the real GOAT at 43 years old, came out and drug you for 4 quarters, and you didn't even get in the end zone once. So all this, they all glaze Pat Mahomes out here, and I get it, because we had John. I mean, I wasn't alive for that, but we had him. But, like, come on now. You're going to sit here and hate him, and then whenever it's y'all doing it, you're just going to forget. Like, they just act like they act like they're not universally hated. Like Blaine said, it's the solar system against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Just like everyone hated the Patriots dynasty, they're going to hate this one too.
Well, I'll leave you this quote: "If they ain't hating, you ain't popping."
There you go.
Very true.
That's right.
Thank you, Ben. Bless you.
Who said that?
Yep.
Gandhi.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
While he was fasting. See you, Ben. Steve is on the line in Ohio. Steve, talk to us.
Hey.
What's up, Stevie?
Buddy?
Hey, I got 2 questions. One about the Ravens and one about the Lions. Well, I guess the one about the Lions is more of a statement than a question. But we'll go with the Ravens first. Do you think the Chiefs provoked the Ravens during warm-ups and during the game to get all those silly personal foul and taunting penalties?
Look, I think there was some gamesmanship between both of them, but I think the Ravens started it with Justin Tucker putting his stuff where he put it. It wasn't like the Chiefs went out of their way and just went over there and kicked his ball and ran away with it. But look, I think the Ravens were gassed up for this one. I think they were over-emotional. I mean, if you go back and watch, go back and watch some of the stuff that was going on, like as the tackles were getting made in the pile. Like Roquan Smith and them were very, let's just say they were very violent even right after the play was getting in. There was so much extracurricular activity early in that game, but I think I don't think it had. I think that game was going to be emotional like that either way. But again, remember, this Chiefs team's been there a lot. I don't think the Chiefs were over emotional. I think the Ravens were over emotional, and it cost them, 3 to 4 times. I mean, on big-time plays, in big-time moments, making costly mistakes. It's just the truth.
Well, I remember seeing during that game, there was something Kelce did, and a Ravens player reacted to it and shoved Kelce.
Travis was talking the whole game, though. Every play Travis made, he was talking.
That's how Travis is.
That's how he is, though.
And he knows how far to push that without getting that penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw him laughing like the Joker afterwards, like this was the plan. They were going to provoke him.
Well, listen, look, it's mind games. Look, 90% of this thing is 100% mental. But the way Travis Kelce handled himself when he was taunting guys, as opposed to Zay Flowers pushing down L'Jarius Sneed and then standing over him and throwing the ball at him, that's just... That's an experience thing.
It's the way you got to do things. And I say this about certain guys. Travis knows how to push the limits. Look, Travis is one of those guys, speaking of quotes, don't be afraid of the storm, learn how to dance in the rain, and Travis Kelce knows how to do that.
Wow. Was that Gandhi too?
That was actually Ben Shapiro on his new single, Facts.
Yeah, I think that was Noah.
Oh, Noah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, way back.
Called Welcome to the Ark.
There you go, Steve. You're welcome for that.
About the Lions, the only thing I can say about the Lions is when you play aggressive, you either live by the sword or you die by the sword. And last night they died by the sword.
Yeah, and listen, I get that's who you are. I'm going to keep saying this, but sometimes block with the sword. You don't just get the sword out and just start going over and stabbing everybody. Sometimes you got to block. You got to, I don't know. I'm not Jon Snow, but I mean, I know, like.
Is that how they do it?
Yeah. Like this.
Can you imagine a guy in front of you at the battlefield doing this?
Hey, it'd actually be horrible. Like scissors. I'd have two of them, like walking at you like this. God, kick the field goal.
Yeah.
Catch passes.
Yeah, I know.
Josh Reynolds. Got that A&M in you.
He did score the first touchdown the week before, though.
Yeah, I know.
Damn it. I almost picked J-Mo first touchdown score in this game.
You were talking last week. I mean, this guy was saying Jameson Williams is going to come out and have a big game. It's time for that. And not only does he score the first touchdown, he scored their last touchdown.
I don't think
he was the first touchdown and last touchdown scorer.
What are those odds?
I don't think people realize how fast.
Somebody kill me.
He might be the fastest human ever.
Oh, yeah. When he gets going.
And he tore his ACL.
Hey, by the way, does anybody notice, like, Deebo Samuels may turn the corner about as good as anybody. There's just runs that Deebo, I'm like, they give that speech and I'm like, there's no way he's getting the corner. Even my wife was like, how'd he do that? Like, it's just like the man, like, there's no stop. It's just like, what? Just, I wonder what his
really
shuttle
good
is.
now. You go watch that highlight tape in South Carolina.
Oh, yeah, I remember Deebo.
Oh, God.
Yeah, hashtag the team.
Disgusting. He was Randall Cobb when he was at Kentucky.
Yeah, I like that. I like that comp.
Appreciate it, Steve. All right, let's go to Cade in Idaho. Cade, what's up?
What's up, Cade?
Hey, so I have, well, first of all, if they're trying to do another Boise State Fiesta Bowl proposal, we know that.
Yep.
Tell him, Cade.
I mean, hey, look, it's going to be a Travis Kelce walk-off, isn't it? Just remember this. I know we've got a while to the Super Bowl.
They're going to run Statue of Liberty.
They might.
Oh,
the Brian Harsin special.
If they do that, it's a simulation.
Chris Peterson, actually.
Did Brian Harsin call that play?
No, that was Chris.
I don't know.
Wasn't Brian Harsin the quarterback coach or something?
No, we don't give any credit to Brian.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't give anything to him.
Thank you.
I don't think any.
Damn, Cade, call in more, dude.
Yeah.
Well, you've talked to me. I'm Broncos Spud, so I do call in kind of often.
That is
Not
true.
Super often. But I have the perfect Flaming Dragon Friday bet for you guys.
Ooh,
talk to us.
That makes me think of something.
So it's going to be this isn't just one Friday. I think that's the issue, is that usually your bets are just one Friday.
Mm-hmm.
This one, you keep a record of who hits the under and who hits the over every week. And after the year, whoever has hit it fewer times has to coat themselves in pink paint and run around and hug other Daily Wire hosts.
I'm sure Walsh would love that.
Cade, I love the energy you're bringing right now. But I don't think they'll let us do that.
Like, if they would let us do that, Cade, we would do it.
Yeah.
I don't think they would let us do it.
I like where your head's at with the bet.
Ask.
We could ask.
I feel like Jeremy Boring would be down.
I think Jeremy would be down.
Yeah, I don't think Jeremy's the problem.
I know Jeremy would be the problem.
No, I think.
Here's what I'll say. I just really wish somebody would do my blow up doll to dinner idea.
Kate, I'm so glad you called in. This does remind me of David. We did make a bet last week.
Yeah, y'all did.
The Lions, 49ers. You took the Lions. I took the 49ers.
Tell him, son.
David will be doing the pregnancy simulator, I believe, after this week coming up. We have the Senior Bowl this week.
No, we're actually gonna see if we can get David pregnant.
No, simulated.
No,
the keyword there is simulated, which I heard it's
David.
way worse than even giving birth. That's what my
David is of child.
I felt great at halftime. I felt so great at halftime.
Did.
I mentally, visually pictured Blaine getting the pregnancy simulator and the questions that I would ask. Yeah. And then just like Jake said, sometimes people go online and they start saying, "Oh, the Lions are going to their first Super Bowl," blah blah blah, and they blow it for everyone.
Yeah. Look, I just can't wait for David to be in this. I'm going to be there for you in your second.
I'm going to be there for
when
you.
it gets hard.
I'm going to be there clicking a button. Just right here.
I'm going to be there clicking.
Wait,
I'm gonna be like that guy
right now. I'm in the first trimester.
That guy
right now.
I'm gonna be
David,
like
I
that
don't know
guy.
if you knew this. You're pregnant.
I'm gonna be like that guy off the new Star Wars.
Well,
More.
Yeah.
More.
well,
We
it
gotta get
makes
Knowles
sense.
in on it too.
Yeah, for sure.
He did it. He was with you the last time.
Michael liked that.
He was definitely with me.
It's like a circle.
Yeah, it never ends.
So yeah, get ready for that next week.
Yeah, Cade. Hey,
call, Cade.
we'll run the pain idea by the guys at the top. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just run it by. I just thought it would be the perfect punishment for whoever loses over a course of a year.
I think either that or we just, whoever the loser is, especially David, you pink paint, you send him to a Miami shopping mall. Right? And he walks around.
I already did that.
Yeah, you already. They
Wait, maybe we should go double or nothing on our bet.
No.
Super Bowl coming up.
Okay.
I think y'all should.
Okay.
Like, here's
We'll
the question though. It's got to be. It's.
Oh,
I
look.
think one
You're
chip
going to be
challenge.
fighting tigers here
No,
pretty soon.
I think it's a one chip challenge. Hands tied behind
you
the back.
just want someone else to go through.
Yes,
what you
I
went
do.
through, all right?
I want y'all to understand the pain that goes along with
He
that.
did the straight jacket. That was
He did.
that was nuts.
Yeah, we don't.
That'll
Hey,
never.
thanks for
go
calling in, man.
yeah,
We
that
appreciate
picture will
it.
live forever.
All right, next one. We got Thomas on the line in Missouri. Thomas, you hate the Chiefs too, or what?
Hey.
Everyone in Missouri hates the Chiefs.
Let's see.
Hey, buddy. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great, man.
What's up?
Mark, come here. Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I was just going to say that I am rooting for the Chiefs all the way.
There we go.
All
a
right,
Chiefs fan,
all right.
finally.
There's one out there.
They exist.
There's one out there. Hey, let me ask you this: what percentage of people think Kansas City's in Kansas? I guarantee a lot of them do.
It's not?
Now,
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. I get it.
Hello.
Yeah, that's my friend Mark. He was a Buffalo Bills fan.
Oh, Mark.
Mark.
Are you all right, bud?
You got him in
Y'all
the
are
basement
hanging
or
out?
something?
Yeah, y'all are still friends. Wow.
He didn't even bother coming in the day afterwards.
Wouldn't either.
It totally had nothing to do with the ice storm.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, look, is there Chiefs Bills right now? In all actuality, top two, top three rivalry in the NFL.
In the postseason.
Well, I'm talking just in general now.
Yeah.
What would you say, Thomas?
I'd say yeah.
I mean, it's
It's like
so
Patriots,
the final.
Patriots Colts.
Yeah, it's like the
Brady
like
and Peyton.
that's what the Bills can't get over. Like I don't know if they're ever going to get over it. To be honest with you.
Thomas, what's your Super Bowl prediction?
I think the Chiefs are going to make a blowout.
Blow out the 49ers.
Really?
They're dogs right now, man. Do you see that third week in a row?
What is it? What is it?
-1, 49ers.
Yeah.
It's a pick 'em.
So -1, so dog.
Well, Thomas, we're going to be keeping up with it, man. You got to call in and tell us how you feel next week leading up to it.
Appreciate it, Thomas.
That's a bunch of Taylor Swift songs, Thomas.
Yeah. I'd just be jamming that Taylor Swift song. That's how
I don't know about you.
Dear
All right.
Trevor, you're the worst, you ass.
2 callers left. Let's get to both of them. Peter in California. Peter, how you doing?
Peter.
Good morning, guys. How are you? Happy New Year. It's my first call of 2024.
Let's get it, Peter.
You
How are
should
you
do the
doing?
new NCAA football intro once it comes out.
Yeah, I know, dude. Peter does have the perfect
Peter-
voice for that.
Just say it's in the game for me one time.
Hey, Peter, yeah, say EA Sports. It's in the game.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
I'm out.
Wow,
you're hired.
I'm out. Hey, dog.
You're
I'm out.
hired,
Hey, dog.
Peter.
That's the guy. No,
I'm
that's
out.
the guy.
I'm out. That was perfect.
That's
This is
him,
the
man.
guy.
That was perfect, dude.
Peter, great start. Great start to the call.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, I know that EA Sports intro well because I used to play Madden NFL 2007.
Oh,
go,
okay,
baby.
that's
Let's
old
go.
school.
Way advanced.
I love
There
it.
you go.
And I would love playing, and I would just love playing regular season mode nonstop all the time, making the Detroit Lions, LA Rams, and LA Chargers win Super Bowls.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Hey,
Let's
now,
Well,
I
in that
mean,
game's universe.
yeah. Rams got you one.
Yeah, well, I'm happy about that, but, you know, they're teams I really like, and I got them the victory in that game. Anyway, I'm disappointed that the Lions and the Ravens are no longer in the playoffs. They did so well. I'm glad it wasn't at a sports book in Vegas. I would have lost a lot of money.
I'm with you. I'd have gone 1-1.
Championship game last night, but I correctly predicted the Chiefs would win it. I can't wait to see a Chiefs lose the Super Bowl. This Taylor Swift phenomenon is just too much for me.
Thank you.
So you got the Niners.
I got the Niners, and the first half of the Lions game was really exciting until the moment the 49ers started overpowering them in the second half. What happened? But no matter what, keep your heads up high, Lions. You had a great season, the best since the early 1990s. Yeah. And I also want to see the 49ers win the Super Bowl because the Kansas City Chiefs win too much. They're pretty much going to be the new New England Patriots. They'll be a dynasty that'll last a year.
Well, Peter, it's so funny. And I think about this in college football and the NFL are the same sport but two totally different games. So it's hard to do parallels there. But remember when Tom Brady won his last Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, and people were like, nobody will ever get close to what Tom Brady did and the Patriots did. I know he won it with the Buccaneers, but with the Patriots did in the NFL. But we may be seeing the same thing happen right after. Mm-hmm. And then you look in college football, and people say, hey, nobody will do what Nick Saban did at Alabama. And I don't think they will. But Kirby Smart's won 2 out of the last 3 national championships. And them and Ohio State, I think, are the 2 best teams going into next year with Carson Beck coming back and what they got. So, as much as we say this is a generational thing, this happens, once every 50 years, 75 years, we may be seeing it back to back, man, because look, Patrick's not old. No. Travis, I think, is close to retiring.
Yeah.
I think he is.
We see dynastical runs all the time for like a 5-year stretch, right? What made what Tom Brady and Bill Belichick did, and Tom Brady, even after he was with Bill Belichick, was the longevity of it, right? It was like 3 separate eras of Tom Brady's career, in which case Tom Brady would have been a Hall of Famer in each one of those different eras. So, and that's where we talk about complacency a lot. So when you look at what Kirby Smart's doing at Georgia, it's like that complacency really doesn't seem to be setting in after getting that first championship in 40 years. So that'll be the question with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. And let's see what Travis Kelce does too, is like, how obsessed are they with going and getting 6 and 7 and 8? Because every one you add to the belt, the rest of the world and the rest of the country and the league hates you and wants to beat you. Yeah. So you'll get everyone's best shot more and more.
Well, to quote Red Bayou, the coach on The Water Boy, said the only thing better than 1 crawfish dinner is 12 crawfish dinners.
Let's see if they can get to 12. Appreciate it, Peter.
Appreciate it, Pete.
Right, don't be complacent.
Appreciate it, Pete.
Thanks, man.
That's right. Don't be complacent. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Call in next week. All right, last one. We got Josh on the line in North Carolina. Josh had a big bet, I think, this weekend.
Yeah.
He hit his futures, right?
Hey. Oh, man. $102 richer. I predicted the Niners and the Chiefs to make it to the Super Bowl in August. And I thought it was dead during the Niners game. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, dang, it's dead. And then the Niners came back, and I was like, wow. That's crazy.
Like a phoenix.
Well, Josh, you know what you do with that $100, right?
Oh, yeah. You double down, and you put it all on the Chiefs.
You put it all on the Chiefs, all right?
You Chiefs money line, Patrick Mahomes to be MVP and parlay it?
Yes, plus 100 right now, Chiefs money line.
Yes. And you know what's going to be the hit song, number 1 hit song after that?
Oh, God,
Josh. Remember when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be by Taylor Swift, and it's going to have a line about Travis Kelce catching a touchdown pass.
I'm chiefing. That may be what it's called.
Yep.
I don't know if that's...
I also,
well, she could remix it with
I also wanted to talk a little bit about college basketball. I can't remember who said it on today's show about how nobody's been winning on the road, but I think that's false because I've been seeing North Carolina do it time and time again on the road this year.
Yeah. Look, I mean, what's crazy to me though, Josh, is you got 2 teams in the Carolinas that are 17-3, and one of them ranked number 3, and the other one's not ranked at all in South Carolina. I don't think South Carolina's getting enough love, but what North Carolina is doing right now is impressive. I would say I'd agree with you. They've probably been the most consistent that I can think of in my head on the road. But I mean, outside of that, man, I mean, it's just who knows? It's a whodunit.
Right. That's true. I mean, wouldn't be surprised. I would, and in my Final Four prediction, I haven't come up with it yet. I would not be surprised if North Carolina made it to the Final Four and if Tennessee finally made their second Final Four in their history.
I agree.
You'll be in a bind then. That'd put you in a bind, wouldn't it?
We'll see.
Yeah. That's a high-class problem if I've ever seen it. But,
Absolutely.
dude, Josh, tell us if you throw that hundo on something else.
All right, we'll do, fellas. We'll do.
All right,
bud. Man. Congrats.
All right. This hockey stick's bad luck. Here's what I'm going with tonight. Just trying to get this month over with. I think Ace is going to win it. Had a huge weekend. Give me Virginia Tech plus 3.5 at home against Duke because it's a good team going on the road to play another good team. I'll take the home team to cover. Then Texas, same situation at home against Houston, plus 5 at minus 108. Both of those bets. Just trying to get to next month. Right, been a little bit of a struggle early, coming off a big year, huge, massive year. Need to get it back, though. He's gay.
Died like a dog. Predators money line tonight on the road in Ottawa against the Senators. That's minus 105. And I'm going to take Duke's TTP over tonight. They are on the road, but I'm going to take team total points over 74.5 at minus 120.
Crybaby back daddy. That's what we called him.
Died like a dog.
Hey, big weekend for the boy. Not a bad yesterday, 5-1. Yesterday, we'll take that. Absolutely.
I heard you. We'll take
Lions, great job on that last touchdown for the cover. Absolute grown-ups. Plus 10 units up on the month. A good way to start off your January. Let's go kind of, on the same boat with you, Crane, but kind of on the opposite. In the same, give me Texas plus 5, too. I'm going off at minus 108. Then I'm going to flip it to the Dookie Demons. Give me Duke minus 3.5 on the road at VT. I do think Duke plays well in this game. It's going off at minus 1.
So we're both riding with Texas tonight. I may parlay Virginia Tech and Texas money line.
No, I don't think that'll hit.
Just as a personal. Nobody win on the road. Like outside of North Carolina.
You said that now. That means Duke's going to win on the road and cover.
Nah, man.
All right, let's get to some donation here. It's going to start off with Angelo DeRaymond with the $2 donation. Angelo
Jason Derulo
says, does the more Andy Reid win hurt Donovan McNabb's legacy?
I mean, I don't think it helps it. I don't think he's becoming it's not less recognizable is the word, but he's not the apple of the eye of Andy Reid. He was like with Andy Reid when people say Andy Reid couldn't win it. You remember?
Yeah.
Like that was the big thing. And now you look and Andy winning Super Bowls and eating candy.
Man, Donovan McNabb was really, really good.
Really
God,
good.
he's so good.
Really good. It's just, this shows you when a great coach gets with a great player, like the perfect combination exists. Sometimes it happens, and unbelievable runs are created like that. We saw it with Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan. We saw it with Phil Jackson and Kobe Bryant. We saw it with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. And we're seeing it right now with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, try it again with those nuggies.
All right, let's go to Jack Hogan with the $10 donation. Jack, appreciate it, man. He says, happy belated level up day to me.
Yeah.
Hit level 23 on Friday, but didn't want to take away from Flaming Dragon. Jack, we're in this together.
Yeah.
I'm taking the football team, not the Barbie and Can expansion pack featuring Kermit the Frog.
Could you have more like when you go,
Birthday
he does sound like Kermit.
No, Patrick Mahomes sounds just like Kermit the Frog. Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Imagine that Kermit the Frog, but can just sling it 70 yards.
Kermit just in the pocket, just
dialing
laser
it
beaming it.
Yeah, just
That's
dialing
hilarious. Jack, happy belated level up day, bro.
Absolutely. Let's go to the house that Cody built with a $5 donation. He says, lifelong Lions and Bills fan here. Curses are real. Prove me wrong.
You talk about dead inside.
Wow.
You've been dead inside for a while.
That's tough. Let's go to Heartbroken Hog, last donation of the day. $5 donation. When someone says the NFL is scripted, I look at it in the same way I look at someone who says the moon landing is fake. Total nonsense.
I don't know if
Y'all
y'all read that at the end.
Y'all believe in the moon?
Y'all sure about that?
Y'all believe it really exists?
The moon?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
That's what you say to
Why haven't we been
moon landing
back?
conspiracy theorists. Well,
That's
you believe
fine.
in the moon and then you laugh at them.
Well, it's like, again, like, why haven't we been back?
Well, it's not like the moon landing's fake, but what'd y'all find up there?
I don't know.
Well, see, the thing about it is, like, I think we went, but we haven't been back.
I don't know.
Who told y'all not to come back? Someone told y'all not to come back.
I don't know, man.
That's the only thing that makes sense to
I don't
me.
want to get too deep into that.
They got that record from the
You want
dark
to talk
side of
about,
the moon.
we'll do a whole show.
Yeah. You want to see some crane? Can
You want to talk about some aliens? Yeah. Talking to a guy with a Gaia subscription.
Yeah.
All right, before we get to the poll, really quickly, Payson Willis. We at Utah State have a generational player in the NFL each decade. Last decade, it was Bobby Wagner. This decade, it's Jordan Love. Hashtag go Aggies. A little Utah State love in the chat.
Yeah,
Love it.
we'll see with Jordan Love. I wouldn't say generational yet. Let's.
He's a starter.
He's on a good trajectory. Let's put it that way. By the way, did y'all beat Boise State the other day? Payson.
Payson.
I think I'm trying to think. I think I took Boise State to cover that. I can't remember.
All right, poll. Is the NFL scripted? Yes.
No, 60%.
No.
Or no?
No, 60%.
61%.
Yes, 54%.
Wow, they're conspiracy theories.
No, and another question: who do you trust more on fourth down? Dan Lanning or Dan Campbell?
Multiple polls today?
Dan Aykroyd.
I trust Dan Campbell more. I know recency bias here may go against.
I'll go Dan Campbell too.
Yeah.
I'll go Dan Campbell too.
All right.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Go buy some merch. Check out Provia and Game Time. We're headed down the Senior Bowl today. Gonna have a show for you tomorrow. Then go live from on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Appreciate you guys. And like the chances, Taylor Swift not being at the Super Bowl. We're going.
That's the worst throw I've ever seen.
Or is it the best
my life.
gone? Or is it the best?